As it turns out, who needs the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field and the home field advantage it provides to begin a Super Bowl run? Now, don't get me wrong, the Green Bay Packers would have loved to start the 2015 NFL playoffs at Lambeau Field in Wisconsin, but after they lost their winner-take-all NFC North Division battle game in Week 17 against the Minnesota Vikings last week, Green Bay was forced to start their playoff run on the road. It started here, and it suited them just fine. Green Bay defeated Washington 35-18 here at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Green Bay now taking on the Arizona Cardinals next week in the divisional round. Now, the Packers did not get off to a good start in this ball game. Washington took a very unconventional lead at 11-0 in the most unconventional way. A safety, a field goal, and a touchdown with a missed extra point after that touchdown. But Washington had the lead and had all the momentum going into the second quarter, and the Green Bay Packers were able to settle down, and they did that using the short passing game. In the first quarter, Aaron Rodgers was hurried, rushed out of the pocket, did not have a lot of time to throw the football, but Coach Mike McCarthy employed the short passing game, and Aaron Rodgers really found his rhythm in the second quarter, went 14 of 20 in that second quarter as Green Bay scored 17 unanswered points to take a 17-11 lead into intermission. And in the second half, Green Bay turned it over to the running game and the running backs to salt the game away. Both James Starks and Eddie Lacy did their best Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung impression in the second half. Lacy had 56 rushing yards in the second half alone. He had a touchdown rushing in the fourth quarter. James Starks had 50 rushing yards in the second half, and he had the go-ahead game-winning score, a touchdown run from 4 yards out late in the third quarter to give Green Bay a 24-18 lead. The Green Bay defense able to salt the game away. They allowed a touchdown to begin the second half to Washington, but nothing after that, as once again the Green Bay Packers defeating Washington by a score of 32-18. And after the game, I got a chance to talk with offensive lineman Josh Sitton of the Green Bay Packers, and I asked him to begin our conversation, how satisfying and gratifying was it as an offensive lineman to see the running game put the game away for the Green Bay Packers here in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's very satisfying. As an offensive lineman, you love running the ball, and you love seeing your two big backs get out there and run it very hard. It's nice to see, and we're definitely excited about it.
Eddie Lacy, James Starks just getting going as well. Also in that first half, it was a tough time protecting Aaron Rodgers at the very beginning. It almost seemed as if later on the short passes was the strategy to get Aaron Rodgers a little bit more time. Was that the case?
I think it was a combination of a few things. I mean, we had the running game going, so they couldn't tee off. The short passes. I mean, there's a lot of things. Tempo had a lot to do with it, and guys just going out there and playing hard.
What's been the key to just keeping this offensive line unit just in a positive mode, seeing your quarterback being sacked and all the times that Aaron Rodgers has hit the ground? What has been the most important thing to keep that mindset and focus?
Well, it definitely has been tough the past couple weeks, but once you get to the playoffs, it's a win or go home, and it's almost a new season, so you just kind of forget about all that, and all you can do is move forward.
Playoff wins are playoff wins, but is a playoff win more gratifying and satisfying on the road?
A little bit, yeah. It's kind of us against the world mentality, and it's always fun.
It's going to be another us against the world mentality in Arizona next week, and it's a team that did beat you just a couple of weeks ago. What's going to be the key and the importance to stop that Arizona pass rush and be able to get that offense humming once again?
Well, we got to be successful running the ball, like we were tonight, and slow them down. If we can get Eddie and James rolling, then we'll be all right.
Would you have preferred playing a playoff game in 0-degree temperatures as you would have if you were at home, or about 50, 45 degrees here in Washington today?
I would always love to play at home, no matter the temperature.
No matter the temperature?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, Josh Sitton, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
As for Washington, a disappointing end to the 2015 season, but you have to consider it a success. After a 2-4 start, Washington winning 7 of their final 10 games to win the NFC East, make it into the playoffs, another home playoff game. But just like 3 years ago, they come up short in wild card weekend here at FedEx Field. 3 years ago it was against Seattle, and now here today against the Green Bay Packers. Kirk Cousins, who is playing as good as any quarterback in the National Football League. In the final 10 games of the season, 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He was 29 of 46 in this ball game, 329 yards. He had a touchdown pass to Jordan Reed in this ball game. He did not have an interception, but at the same time, he did turn the ball over, and at a very crucial time in the second quarter, with Washington up by 4 and into Green Bay territory at the 39-yard line, he was sacked, stripped, lost the ball. It was recovered by Mike Neal. The sack was by Mike Neal, and that was one of the turning points in the ball game. But once again, Washington, a very successful season, winning the NFC East, but coming up short here in Wild Card Weekend against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay again heading to University of Phoenix Stadium to take on the Arizona Cardinals, a team that bludgeoned them just a couple of weeks ago in the regular season. The Packers looking for revenge and also looking to advance to the NFC title game. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALotofSportsTalk.com. We will have the written recap of this game between the Packers and Washington. Also, we will have the latest edition of the A Lot of Sports Talk podcast and the latest edition of 3-Point Play, 3 observations that we, A Lot of Sports Talk, had in the week that was in college basketball. So once again, the Green Bay Packers advanced to the divisional round with a 35-18 win over Washington. From FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, this is Adesina Koiki for ALotofSportsTalk.com.